It's been said a bard's life can often be a hard life, or hill and dale to rove and always move from town to town. And some folk have inquired if ever we grow tired of ranging all around the world and never settling down.
But one should be a little wary of remaining stationary, 'cause comfortable is lovely, but it's not the way we grow. When life starts to unravel, pick up your pack and travel. You'll find a strange serenity in places you don't know. Wriggle-dee-dum-dee-too-da-terry-o-dee. There's so much to see beyond the open door. It's outward bound we go. Who knows what we'll find that we've never found before. Adventures waiting further down the road. It's waiting for you further down the road. You've got no map for showing which direction you are going.
But why start on a journey if you know where it will end?
And once you recognize,
to anticipate surprise, you'll relish every twist and turn that lies around the bend. Wriggle-dee-dum-dee-too-da-terry-o-dee-da-dee-da-dee. There's so much to see beyond the open door. It's outward bound we go. Who knows what we'll find that we've never found before. Adventures waiting further down the road. It's waiting for you further down the road.
The world has got its demons. There are many reasons why you'd find it harder to be brave than be afraid.
But every life could use some danger. Every friend was once a stranger. Ships are safe in harbor, but that's not why ships are made.
Wriggle-dee-dum-dee-too-da-terry-o-dee-da-dee. A fwit-da-dee-da-dee. There's so much to see beyond the open door. It's outward bound we go. Who knows what we'll find that we've never found before. Adventures waiting further down the road. It's waiting for you further down the road. Adventures waiting further down the road.
Let's go!
Everybody, it's me, MAB, just MAB, and I'm here to answer all of your questions. So this is your opportunity to ask me anything. Yeah. So here's the deal. I'm in my studio. I have a bit of work to do, quite a bit of work, in fact. And we had scheduled an AMA, and there's some scheduling, juggling thing happening. And so there was talk of rescheduling because of conflicts, but you know what? I've got this work. I'm going to be in my studio. You guys are going to be holding me accountable. And so much as I'm not going to be leaving my studio for an hour. That's you guys. But I'm here. You're here. Why not make this the happy AMA we had talked about? So it's an AMA with MAB. I love the way that sounds. I don't know why I had never thought of that before. So, hello. How are you? me anything. Hello, Brian Skate. We got Victoria London Fog asking, "Aw, you are so sweet," asking how I'm so cute. Well, golly gosh darned, I don't even know what to tell you. What it is makeup, glasses, and props. This is just a cool little head wrap thing to keep the hair off the back of my head. And here's I got to show you this. It's wired. So it's really cool, actually. It's a piece of fabric with a wire in it. So the wire is on the bottom here, and you stretch it like this. I didn't make this. I actually bought it. I saw it on the internet, and I picked it up for myself. So then you take the wire part and you put the wire part underneath, and you find the center, boop, 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 and then you lift it. In this instance, I want my bangs showing. And then you twist it, and then there it goes. It stays. So then you could do, like, you can make it a bow, a big old bow. And you could make it a ball, which is like kind of what I do. It's like a flower crumple-y thing. And then I just kind of scrunch it up on itself and then kind of pat it down. I mean, my hair is up on a hair stick, but it doesn't get the little low ends, which I missed. So I will tuck them back into this little thing. Because it's a little muggy today here in good old Virginia. There we go. And that's how I'm so cute. Great question, Victoria London Fog. And you're asking what I'm working on. I'll tell you. Boom. Someone commissioned 1 million mugs for the festive abs. Focus, my bitches. Focus on the faces. It's got too much going. Oh, there you go. So it's Abs Fest mug. And then there's the other one. So each one gets taped by hand and then stuck in a little mug press where the heat, fiery heat of 1,000 suns, or maybe just one pre-cut mug press will press it. It's Quad Kevin with a secret ninja name that I refuse to use because I am a one-name gal. One name. You have one name. It's Quad Kevin. So I'm making those, right? And to do that, I printed out on a sublimation thing. And then to know how big to cut it, and it's really hard to see, but maybe you can. I have these little guidelines, and I don't want these guidelines to print on the mug, so I have to trim them off. And Quad Kevin, your question, is it dishwasher safe? Yes, sir, it is. Dishwasher and microwave safe. Yep, totally safe. It's not going anywhere. It's just a regular mug. I've got like 1 million commissions right now, which is great because I freaking need them. I got another commission coming in from Z, which is very exciting. So if you're a part of the Tea of the Month Club, you will be getting a surprise from moi. I will be building the free gift that comes along. Well, I mean, it's not free, but the gift that comes along with the month of the club. I cannot speak. Well, here's the deal with what's going on with sublimation ink. And I think this sublimation is awesome. So sublimation ink it turns gaseous. It turns gaseous at a certain temperature. And then it bonds with synthetic material. So these ceramic mugs are coated with some sort of synthetic polymer or whatever. And when you heat it in a mug press, the ink turns gaseous and then it bonds to this. It's not going to bond to the paper. It's going to bond to the thing. It's pretty cool. A million commissions times $1, MAB's a millionaire. Huh, wouldn't that be awesome? We are all doing what we can right now. None of these commissions are going to be like big. They're all kind of small. And yeah, if I had $1,000,000 commissions, it would take me a long time to make them, unless it's something I can, produce 1,000 at a time. But I don't have that kind of capacity right now. I guess I could kind of sort of send it out. I don't know. Yeah. No, can't do that yet. Oh, now my little thing's a little funky now. Oh well, it is what it is. So it's so funny doing what we do here, with the live stream. I can see your chats, and I can occasionally see me if I'm like looking to that side of the screen. I could see me in a little window, and I'm always like, oh, but you guys are sweet. And BLF was like, oh, you're so cute. I will take that, because this is what 53 looks like. Boom. I'm an ancient woman. Oh, I know. That's okay, because I tried to draw your smut goblins, VLF, and you do a much better job. So what I am going to do is I will take, and you messaged me this Wednesday, right? And I thought I replied. But I'm wondering if I did or not. Because that was the same day that Z reached out to me and Ansa for another project for Destination D&D, which is freaking awesome, because I'm always making props for them for that. And not props, but giveaway things. Oh, yeah. Okay, so I want to make those stickers. I want to make them, and I am 100% down. So do message me. Let's talk. We'll talk. My rates are very flexible. I know that we're all having a hard time right now, and with money and jobs and everything. And I want things to be accessible, cost wise. So, but I still also need to make some money, and I want to be able to help people get those things that manifest. I'm a maker, I'm a creator, I'm an artist, and I'm a person. I'm a crafts MAB, and I want these things to exist in this world. So you want stickers? You've got this great design that would make an awesome sticker. Send me a message. I will make it happen, and we will negotiate rates and find out something that's reasonable for everybody. I am not the only maker on this channel. We have many makers, and joining me tonight, boop, she's in charge of our Patreon. She's
Hello.
the Patreon's land. How are you doing, Nina?
I am okay. I'm a little frustrated today. My laser just like totally crapped out on me today.
Oh,
And it was about 3 or 4 hours of troubleshooting before I finally figured out that apparently the lens is damaged, and that has been messing up my prints for 24 hours now. So I ordered a new lens on Amazon. There's some Facebook laser group people that said that it would work, so fingers crossed, because
I've done that.
They were like, you can buy a $350 new laser module, and I was like,
it was the module. Oh, because you're on We Create.
Yes, I'm about to upgrade.
You don't have the same one I do. Okay.
Yeah, I'm about to upgrade. I'm about
upgrade to what?
So I've been hardcore looking, and I definitely am going to a CO2 or something of the sort instead of a diode, because I've had my diode for 2 years. It's been awesome. Now I'm ready to upgrade.
Yep.
So while looking at the CO2s, they have this one called an RF, I think is what it is. And it's this new metal tubing, so you don't have to have the cooling unit with it like you do with the CO2s. So, the one that I was looking at actually has thunder parts in it, but they're called One Laser. That's the company. It's just One Laser, and it's still a desktop, but it's supposed to last like a lot longer. And
I'm intrigued.
so, yeah, I'm
Yeah.
still trying to decide because I'm with the CO2. You're definitely going up in price point. So
Yeah, a lot. And that's one of the reasons I got the diode to begin with.
same.
But I am entranced by fiber lasers right now.
Ooh, fiber. Tell me more.
Ugh.
What did they do?
They carve metal.
Ooh, that would be so nice to have.
They carve it. Like
That's incredible.
quack, 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 quack,
Oh,
quack.
the things you could do.
Like I make coins anyway. I don't know if you guys have seen some of the coins that I've made. I think I have some handy.
Remember. Hi, Kevin.
Quad Kevin. Quad Kevin is there. Where are those coins that I made? Here we go. Boop, boop, boop. And they're not three-dimensional coins, but I tricked them out. I did, some creative shading on them to make them look like they're three-dimensional. Let's see if I can get a good shot of it here.
Oh, yes.
It's still focusing on me. But I would love,
Cool, though.
I would love for these things to be actual three-dimensional coins.
That would be amazing.
Or any of the coins that I make. So, I've got a couple of designs that I've built.
That would be super cool. Fiber laser.
Yeah, but fiber lasers are ridiculously expensive.
I bet.
So,
If they do
Nope.
that. Yeah.
nope, they're even more expensive, I think, than fiber or than diode or CO2.
Oh, yeah.
So there's three different lasers. There's CO2, there's diode, there's fiber, there's four. There's RF, RI,
RF, I think is what it
RF.
is. Hello, my dear. How are you?
So yes, I'm actually thinking about vending because I've got a lot of vending gigs coming up.
Love
There
it.
we go. That's the bug.
Love, yes. Oh, I'm
Focus.
so excited. I know your camera's like, I want to just look at you. Oh, there you go. There you go. Oh, I love the snake around it. That's super cute.
Yeah, Ouroboros. And then on the back,
Oh, that's awesome. Oh my God, those are
Cool.
great.
little roses there.
I love those.
Ooh, that's a real question that I can actually help you with. Let's pop that up on the screen.
One develop.
How does one develop and pitch an act for the Ren Fair?
This is a MAB question.
Okay. First of all, Ren Fairs are very hard to get into, the big ones. Secondly, you want to start with street festivals and single day events. And that's how to get into these fairs, is to fine tune your act. Secondly, you can work with other performers and be like a cast member in their act. That's another good way to get around and meet. So there's Ren Fair casts themselves. Ren Fair acts have a certain meter and rhythm and a format. And so The ones that are wildly successful have the audience call pitch, and then the warm up bit, and then I mean, there's a whole breakdown. I actually did a breakdown of the structure of a show a while ago, but I haven't been performing at Ren fairs for like, I think the last one was like shortly before the pandemic was the last time I performed at a Ren fair. I was already ready to retire before the pandemic. Mostly because I have, the wicked arthritis and mobility issues, and that was, working the Ren fairs and festivals was very difficult for me.
That's a lot of walking and standing.
Yeah, it's an awful lot of walking and standing, and inclement weather, hot, cold, bugs,
Yeah.
rain, mud. And then as a sideshow performer, all of my props weighed 1,000,000 fucking pounds. So you got the bed of nails, you got a bucket of broken glass, you've got,
Did you do the bed of nails?
Oh yeah.
Oh girl, I'm so impressed.
Bed of nails, glass walking, fire eating, straight jacket, bug eating, mouse traps in general, but all kinds of traps, like double long spring beaver trap, special Duke number 5, fox traps, mouse traps.
How did I not know that?
Because I retired shortly before the pandemic.
Well, yes.
I also used to be a belly dancer.
That I did know. That part I did know, because it was, I think, got mentioned at one point or something. But so I think I kind of went off of like, I thought you kind of did like the Ansa like sang and played music and belly dance. Like that's what I assumed.
Yeah.
For
So, and then I played music for her show at the 10 Ren Fair. There's pictures of me drumming for her at the 10 Ren Fair. I've done a lot of Ren Fairs, and I know it's really hard to not be doing it and being around people that are currently doing it in a weird way. It's like, I miss it, and I really wish I didn't have a busted up body, but it's tough. So, lane act, it looks like you are asking about lane acts now. So that is a great thing. That so I have Wedgie Two Cheeks, who was a goblin. She was wildly popular in all of the fairy festivals up and down the East Coast, and a little bit in traveled as a goblin. And I would write what I would call micro bits, and the trick was to doing it all ages, and then having something. So I developed the character. I had the backstory. So Wedgie was a goblin that wanted to grow up to be a fairy, and that was it. And my partner Magnus was a goblin, and he's a giant, right? He's 6'5", and he's got this big orc armor thing that's really impressive. It's so impressive. And his name was Azog, and he had like a helmet with giant horns on it, and we wanted to go to a fairy festival as our goblin characters, goblin and orc, and we didn't want to scare the people, so we pretended that we were fairies, and thus was born Wedgie, because we just strapped fairy wings. And he was post-op in the fact that he had literally sewn a butterfly or sewn wings to his back with big giant band-aids to indicate they were permanently on there, and I had a butterfly literally tied to my back. A giant butterfly.
That's amazing.
So
that's so awesome.
The interaction is to just kind of be there, and you see people and you say, hi, hey, or you have a little micro bit of something that kind of is intriguing to them. And it's a big trick to know when to interact with a person and when not to interact with a person. That's like, if they're talking amongst themselves, you can not interrupt.
Sure.
That's typically a good rule of thumb. And being a fixed lane act versus a wandering lane act, those are way easier. I kind of have a couple of things that I wanted to that I started writing to be a fixed lane act. So Lady Prudence is a fixed lane act. She's a lane act, but she's in one spot. But it's kind of like a stage, but a mini stage, but it's like people come and go. So it's a busking. So the thing you want to work on is research on busking.
Busking.
I mean, I could go on, and I'm choosing not to because it's a whole long thing. And like I said, I built micro bits for Wedgie, and I actually trained goblins because when I was getting older and more broken, it was coming out that I couldn't do as much. So I started training young goblins to come in, and I have written a whole document of the different micro bits that you could do of like who's your favorite goblin, and then they point to somebody else, or they say blah blah blah, and then you hold up a couple of coins and you're like, okay, who's your favorite goblin now, right? Or so the bribe, right? I always had a pouch of old Mardi Gras coins.
Oh, yes.
And and other bits were like, welcome to the Goblin Festival. It's the fairy festival. Yeah, you're mispronouncing goblin. It's pronounced goblin. And that bit can go on for 6 days, really.
Oh,
that
yeah.
one can, like, you get a kid all worked up about that. It doesn't stop. It's beautiful.
I love it.
And they go fairy, you go goblin. Goblin, and you just lean into it. Repetition is your friend. Little micro bits like that, little repetition, like yeah, one bit I wrote, you want to hear the song of my people? I said, you want to hear the color of my people? And I say it real fast, and then they're like, yeah. And I say, count me in, say 1, 2, 3, go. And I won't go until they say 1, 2, 3, go. I say 1, 2, 3, go. Say 1, 2, 3, go. Well, I'll just stand there and wait for them to go 1, 2, 3, go, or 1, 2, 3, go. And then we all at the same time start singing green. Because we don't say the song of our people, we say the color of our
people. That's awesome. Oh, those are so fun. So how long were you a performer?
I was performed for over 25 years, maybe even 30. Yeah.
Awesome.
Goblin. In fact, one of the vendors was so adored this fairy festival, Goblin Festival, that he painted a sign, because he painted all the signs for the fairy festival. He painted a sign that said Goblin Festival. The New York.
Oh, that's so great.
Really cute. And hand gave it to me. It was really sweet. Knowing when to walk away is key. Yeah. And if a kid is scared, we would always do the I'm more scared of you than you are of me bit.
Oh, yeah.
And then I would offer bribes. Okay, if I give you this, you can't eat me. You swear you won't eat me if I give you this. All right, they took the coin. They're good. They're cool. It's all cool. It's cool.
Oh, I know.
So, yeah.
I could just, with you going that, especially Oliver being 6, he would just be just right on it with you, just going for it.
I love working these fairy festivals, and I loved working with kids. And so I'm like, kettle corn is like crack for goblins, fairies rule, or goblins rule, trolls drool. And then we say things like they can't help it. It's those big teeth. They can't help it. And complimentary goblin makeover where we had a little pot of green paint. People would come up and we would just put green paint on them.
That's hilarious.
And then we would free coloring in of your tattoos. And we'd be like, I'm staying in the lines, plop, plop, plop. And the brush is like this big, you know.
Right. That's awesome. That is so fun. Is that where you met your partner?
No, Magnus and I have been together for over 30 years.
Oh,
So,
wow. Okay.
yeah. Met him at a medieval event on a
Oh,
mountain, and I was a belly dancer. And then I met him again at Penzic, and I was a belly dancer at my first Penzic. So whatever Penzic number we're at, that's how many years.
wow. That's awesome.
He's a good guy.
I have heard wonderful things. Wonderful things about him.
Yeah, let's see. I could talk goblin stuff for days. So as I started to get older, I wanted to go from a roving lane act to I love this. Okay, I'll address that in just a second. I wanted to go from a roving land act to a stationary land act. And in my infinite extraness, I decided to build a goblin embassy. So it's like a one little area that we would set aside. So it's the goblin embassy, and that you could get your complimentary makeover. You could get I had games because I was already building a midway for the vaudeville circus side of my life, and the goblin passport office, which is a photo booth, the military training, which was one of those knockdown punk games, the museum, which was like a small little window of oddities, the gift shop, the museum gift shop, which was just where we sold buttons and pins and cards and stuff. And this, what turned into, was supposed to make my life easier, made my life even more complicated because it just grew and it grew, and I am extra as fuck.
Yep. Same. Justin's always like, you got yourself into it. And I'm like, oh, I know. It's totally my fault.
Yeah.
I
And
totally
now the embassy fits on a trailer. We had, I got these little pop-up houses, and we called that Rancho Goblonia. They were goblin timeshares.
Gablonia.
And every unit comes with a complimentary rock, which is what we were using to keep them from blowing away. And now let's talk about this, because that is awesome. Okay, here's what I love.
Oh, I love that.
There is a lady at the New York Fairy Festival who is Mother Crane. She's like Mother Goose, but with poetry. And she has a tray that's all set up, and she's dressed up really nice. And it's like a fan of pieces of paper that are decorated and have like little poetry things on there. And she would go around and offer up things to people. She was a roving performer, but you know what I really want to see, because I am extra AF. I have a typewriter, an old school typewriter, and it still works. And they're not impossible to find. I literally found that one in the dumpster. If you could set up like a little cart and then push the cart, pull the chair out from the cart, sit down, and then go tack, 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 tack.
MAB. Oh, that is so cute.
Right?
Yes.
I would love to see that.
That's so cute. Oh, this is London.
But the making the cart is not going to be that hard. They have all these like garden carts now. So you just strap a table to a garden cart, and then have the chair tucked in underneath the table, and then you pull it out and sit down, a little pop-up chair.
When I totally forgot about it until he just happened to mention it the other day. But my dad has this cane, and it has like a seat.
Yeah, I got one
So
of
it
them.
like pops out. And, like,
Yeah.
if she was doing, like, quick like, if you're sitting there, that's different, but if you were doing just, like, quick little things, you could just pop down real quick and, and that would be super light to carry
Yeah.
around.
And you could have them sit down next to you and talk to you for like a min. And you can have the tip jar built into the cart.
Ooh, like it, I like it.
Yeah. And
Oh,
then I
that would
love
be
it.
ideas. I love it so much.
You got this. That would be an amazing Lane act. And now to address Quan Kevin's excellent question. Fun
I
fact,
actually don't think I know this either.
I went to college with Paulo.
Oh.
Yes, we were in the same anti-fraternity known as Theta Zeta, pronounced Oz. And it was where the punks and the degenerates hung out and had wild parties. He was also a theater person. He was a year behind me. It was awesome. And then we just became friends. And then, because we were both worked at Theater 4, which was a theater, we, scene painting, scene running, whatever. And, after college, I think I visited him a couple of times. We talked D&D stuff a couple times. But yeah, pre-fair life, way pre-fair. But here's the thing. I was working at the House of Musical Traditions at the Maryland Renaissance Fair. And Paul, who was just starting out booking Ren fairs himself, he was living in San Francisco, and was visiting family on this coast and bumped into me. And I'm like, oh my God, because it had been a few years since I had seen him. And then, he saw the belly dance show, he saw this, and we ended up going on tour together for one of his first tours of Ren Fair shows. And I think I played drums in his show or something. We set up a vending area called Bog Gypsies, which now we would never use those terms. But we had our friend Mad Cat with us. That was the St. Louis Ren Fair, Greater St. Louis Ren Fair. It was on the Mississippi River and it got flooded, and that was a fun story.
It got flooded?
Oh, yeah, they had to literally call firemen to evacuate us.
Oh,
we had nowhere to go, though, because we were camping on site. And the whole land got flooded. Our area was underwater. Now, I had built my tent. I had built a Bedouin-style tent. If you're familiar with what that
Bedouin?
looks like. Yeah, it's like basically a big tarp canopy, and the poles are like this.
Oh, yes. Okay.
So it was a Bedouin style, but I had put it up on pallets, wood pallets with like a board on top and then rugs just to make it stable. That's the only thing that saved my stuff.
Wow.
Paulo had the Vardo, so his stuff was safe too. I helped him set up that Vardo, the initial Vardo life. There was one point we stayed in the Vardo, and I remember it was like the night before we were moved into our area, and we were talking, and we knew Ansa. I had just met Ansa. He knew Ansa from another thing. And Paul was married, but he had an open relationship. Ansa was married, less open. And he said to me, I remember this, he said, if Ansa ever leaves Draven, I will marry her. And then 15, 20 years later, they
freaking did it.
It was really beautiful. It was really sweet.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
I was actually just talking about that because I've been making ornaments and stuff, and I was just talking about how adorable that they are and how the way that Ansa talks about Paolo just like always just makes me, she's just like, well, it's just the most amazing person ever. And I'm like, I love that you think that.
Yeah.
About your spouse. Like, that's wonderful.
So Paul is my brother, essentially. Like, and Ansa is family. She's sister, I guess. And it's just we've always kind of been family, so it's really wonderful. I will say I did not like Ansa's ex-husband.
No?
Didn't like him when they were married. I can say that. He was not a
Yeah.
great person. And he had to be in the circus because we were in the accidental circus. It was me, Paulo, and Ansa and Mad Cat that were the core of the original accidental circus.
Oh.
And because if we wanted Ansa, we had to have her husband.
Oh.
And so he was a little diva. And I have a great level of patience for many things in this world. But divas are not one of them, unfortunately. And, we're all keeping track of our own props at one point, and then he's throwing a fit because he misplaced his own props. And he's like, "Where are my props?" And I said to him, I go, "Where did you leave them?" And that pissed him off. And they asked me to leave the room because they had to cater to him. He was such a little bitch. You are not a diva. Claude, you are a wonderful, kind, and generous person.
Oh,
I can't
Evan?
even. Yeah.
No.
To say that I could tell you these horror stories of just how awful, and this guy wasn't even that talented. And
if you don't mind saying, what did he do in the fair?
in the circus.
Oh, well, yeah.
Sword fighting.
Oh, okay.
But it was really bad sword fighting choreography. The kind that's like, huh, 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 and I'm like,
oh dear,
why are we wasting our time? But that's me. That's me. Other people liked that kind of thing. Not me, though.
Everyone
yeah. And anyways, in person, when I'm not being recorded for posterity, if you want to hear additional fun stories about a wanker, I would be happy to tell them. Because there is no shortage, and I don't think these stories are accurately conveying what a tool this guy was.
Oh, I love it so much. Story time with MAB.
He was a tool. Just a bad person all around.
Oh, we are so thankful we are where we are now.
Honestly, yeah. So he wanted to be more impressive in the circus show that we had. So Paulo's like, "You could do the bed of nails." Yeah, absolutely. And so I stayed up with Paulo till literally 4 a.m. on the day of a show to build a bed of nails. And he gets down on that thing and he goes, "It hurts." And I'm like, "Yeah, it's a bed of nails."
No shit.
And so I get down and I do the bed of nails and I go, "Steve, it's not that hard." And because a girl, did it, he was like, "Okay, I'll do it." But then he complained about how his back looked like hamburger. And I'm like, "One more time, let's revisit this. It's a bed of nails."
Also, who wanted to do it?
And it was his idea.
It was what?
So yeah. Anyways, and that's how I started the bed of nails.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
You're like, "I got this shit. Move over."
Yeah. I'm like, I didn't stay up till 4 a.m. to not use this fucking prop.
No.
Yeah.
No. Oh, it's somebody is laying on a bed of nails.
Yeah, that was exactly it. Anywho.
So fun. The bed of nails hurts blasphemy.
But yeah, I will not. I will stop this just because it's unprofessional. But oh no, it's there's so much more to making a bed of nails. That's a valid question. So to make a bed of nails, you have to one have the nails, and there's a lot of them, and they have to be a certain kind of nail that's not gonna there's like a coated nail that
Right.
causes irritations really bad, like under your skin infections.
Mm.
Ha 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 ha.
Boom.
But what you do is you have two things. You got to snap all the lines, and then you have to drill the holes. You drill them, but the drill bit is slightly smaller than the thickness of the nail. Because just hammering nails through a board, they're going to get bent, they're going to get wonky.
Okay.
You're going to get on the other side of the board, it's going to, like, when you got wood, sometimes it'll splinter out and it'll look really bad. So you drill a hole slightly smaller, then you pound them all in. And this one was 486 nails. It was a big bed of nails. I don't have it anymore.
Yeah.
I think I sold it. Yeah.
And just put that up on Marketplace. Bed of nails for sale.
And then you flip it over and you tap all the nails in, which again takes a while. And then you put another board on top of it to make sure the nails aren't wiggly. That's another factor. You don't want your nails
Yeah, no.
wiggly. And then you attach those two boards together, and it's heavy as fuck. Yeah.
I
Oh,
don't
and
know
they
if
weren't.
I've seen a bed of nails. Well, I know Crystal, strong woman. Gosh, what's her name? She just did
Oh, the
series with
series, Chris.
yeah.
Lovegood?
Young Love.
Young Love. Thank you.
Young Love. She does the bed of nails. That's the first time I've seen one though. Like we've been to multiple Renfest now, and I haven't seen the bed of nails.
Well, I gotta tell you, bed of nails is a very ridiculously heavy prop. And it doesn't have the bang for me. My bed of nails act was okay. My glass walking act was much better. And they're both basically the same act.
So, because I don't think I've ever actually asked
Oh,
someone who's walked on glass, but like how do you train for that?
excellent. I actually do teach classes.
Do you really?
I do.
That is so cool.
I teach fire eating, glass walking, bed of nails, although my bed of nails is super rusted because we put it outside because I wasn't performing. But I can, if you wanted to schedule a class where we built the bed of nails, which I could teach you, the nails are about 1 inch apart.
Okay.
Any further, which you could do further and it would be less nails, but the further apart, the more it's going to hurt. It still hurts when they're 1 inch apart, but further apart, it's going to hurt a lot more.
Yeah.
Is
it true that the fire eating starts to mess with you over time?
Yes. Ask me about my teeth.
Oh, is that what that's from?
It's from not having a dentist.
Well,
but yeah, it does corrode your teeth.
Oh, okay.
It also causes. It is a carcinogenic. It's very toxic.
Yeah.
I try to drink like a milk beverage afterwards, or milky beverage, to kind of try and neutralize something a little bit, because I do burp fuel for a day afterwards. It's disgusting. But I love eating fire. Actually, I really like it.
Do you?
Yeah.
What was your most successful act?
My most successful act is my glass walking act, and the act is really cool. I have an act that I call the 99 red balloon swallow, where I swallow 99 red balloons. I don't actually swallow 99, spoiler. But the joke is I'm trying to swallow 99 red balloons.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, fire breathing, I wouldn't recommend unless you've already got the mastery of Not a lot of fire breathers out there because out of all of the fire eating arts, that's the one that you're most likely to get hurt very badly.
I think Paolo was
I
the
do
one
know a
last
couple of people
year.
that have, one person, it blew back, the wind shifted suddenly and it blew back, or the AC kicked on or something, blew back, hit their face. They went to wipe their face and skin came off on their hand. It's a thing that happens.
Yeah.
It's pretty horrific.
Yeah, Paolo was telling us at one point that he used to do it, but literally stopped because it was just getting to be too much.
Yep. I actually learned fire eating from Paul. Yes,
Oh,
Seth Carney does breathe fire, but like once you've been doing it for a while, you get more familiar with it. But it's not anything I ever wanted to learn because once you see someone pull the flesh off their face, it's kind of hard to unsee that.
I would imagine.
Uh,
Or I can't. I don't want to imagine, but
no, don't imagine. It's not. But yeah, I would rather not do that. Fire eating is just fine. And I do teach fire eating. I have a pretty good fire eating lesson. Usually people can eat their first fire within half an hour of the class and then doing at least one trick or two by the end of the hour-long session.
that's really cool.
Yeah, it does freak me out a little bit too. That's totally fair, VLF.
Who's the one at Tennessee Ren Fest? I think she's been on Nat 21.
Oh yeah, Adamo Ignis.
Thank you. Yeah, I knew
she's
she
a
had a
friend
cool name. Yeah.
Yeah, she's there's like cult of fire people. She's a cult of fire person.
Oh,
Where if it's fire, they'll do it.
wow.
And yeah, an hour. I will sit and tell these stories. I've got a million of them. Not all of them can be on the air. We
Did
might
you
keep
mean
this locked
that,
down.
Kevin, or were you talking about her giving you a fire breathing class?
Who giving? Oh, yeah.
I think is that what?
Oh, you want a fire eating class? Oh, I can't fly with fuel, but we can.
We could get some, I'm sure, around. Or have
Yeah.
some ship. Hotel Provincial so used to us shipping stuff there now. They're like, yep, D&D crew.
That's funny. You know what?
Yeah.
I could theoretically. There's a couple places I could teach fire eating. And I have friends in New Orleans that do fire eating too. So
Oh, that's cool.
yeah.
Did you ever?
Once you're in the sideshow community, you're in the sideshow community. We're family. Yeah.
Did you perform at Louisiana ever?
Yeah. When the early days of Louisiana Ren Fair. With Paulo in the Bardo. Did some drumming. Set up the little vending area. Yeah, it was fun.
I actually used to live in Hammond,
Ooh.
Louisiana, because my family's from Louisiana, and we used to live in Hammond, and I had no idea that Renaissance Festival was there because I didn't get into
fairly new as far as Ren Fairs go. So when did you live there?
2006 to 2009.
Okay, it was a brand new fair at that point.
Okay.
Because I think the year I was there, or the years I was there, was 2000, 2001, 2002, that kind of thing. Okay. Fairly new. It was a fraction. They didn't have very many permanent buildings.
Okay, so
everything was like
it may not have been as broadcasted as much. I mean, obviously it was
pretty new
then, but yeah, when we were in NOLA and saw the address, I was like, oh my God, this was 5 minutes down the road from me the whole time. But I didn't even know what a Ren Fair was then. So
yeah, it was fun. I liked the Louisiana Ren Fair.
I do.
I like Tennessee Ren Fair too, actually.
So I don't know if you like follow them on socials or anything, but They just pushed a Instagram post update saying that some of the trees got infested with some kind of beetle, and they had to cut them down, and there's gonna be a lot more open areas than there used to be, and they're trying to figure out a way to get some mature trees, like, already mature
Oh,
trees there to do coverage and everything. So, I'm really
yeah.
interested to see we're actually going on, Memorial Day. We're gonna be
Oh,
well, we're actually because 'cause we're already gonna be at Abs Fest, we're gonna literally leave Sunday afternoon, drive down to Tennessee, do Monday Memorial Day at Tennessee Fest. Um,
that's smart.
Tennessee weekend after this. So you're going are you going the first weekend in May, the opening weekend? It's a great
No, I'm not. Oh, Tennessee, Kevin. Um, are you going to first weekend, Kevin?
yeah, we can
You-
only make it work Memorial Day, and that was a very, like, "Oh, they're open that Monday. We should go since we're gonna be so close." Like, 4 hours.
Yeah, one of the advantages there.
Yeah.
Kevin's asking for good places to stay.
Good places to stay. So that's in, Arrington. So you're gonna be close to honestly, you could stay in Nolansville, that's close to where we used to live. Arrington now, if you want to, I think that they have a hotel, where's my map? I think they have a hotel attached to Arrington Vineyard, and it's really, really cool, and you're staying in a vineyard, and let me see. Um
This is it. That looks right.
Yeah, that is the only downfall to our lovely move to Ohio is Tennessee Ren Fest was 20 minutes away from our house.
Oh,
And this Ohio Fest is 2 hours and 15 minutes.
I got stories about the Ohio Fantasy Fair. I probably did that show with Paul too. It
Tell
was
me,
at the Haunted Hydro. Does any of this sound familiar? It was not
is that
far from Sandusky.
okay?
It was about an hour.
The one in Ohio?
The fair that Paulo and I did that may or may not still exist.
Oh, the What'd you say it was?
The
What type of fair?
Ohio Medieval Fantasy Fair. I don't know if that still exists at all. It was so poorly run. Um, but the thing is, that, like the Haunted Hydro, and there was a mini golf course there too, and
Oh,
yeah, but it was like clearly like a haunt kind of area. Like they had a haunt, and the owners were trying to just generate revenue other times of the year. So they were like, yeah, let's make a Ren fair, and everything was like pop ups, and they had acts there that were like, oh, okay, including mine. Mine was an okay act. um, but it was fun. It was fun. I set up my little Vardo, or I set up my Bedouin tent there. Had a little camp set up. 3 hours to wow. One day, cannon to cannon. Nice. That's right. This is the last weekend of Scarborough, isn't it?
3.5 hours for our one day trip in.
It does seem
I
like a long drive, but I don't mind driving. I would do it.
See, I would Justin, if we were doing it for one day and we were gonna be at Fest all day, he wouldn't wanna come back home for another 3 hours, like, drive that back home. I mean, like, if it's gonna be an hour of fun, let's go. Like, who cares? Let's go, you know?
When
I kinda have that feel.
doing gigs, I have done multiple what we call turn and burn. I drive up to New Jersey 5 hours, do the gig, drive home that night 5 hours.
And that's after you
because
play or you do your gig too.
hotels were expensive, and if I got tired, I'd sleep a nap in my car at a rest stop because it's a straight shot down 95, so it was pretty easy. So I think 6 hours was the most I've done a turn and burn. It was fun though.
Oh, I bet it was. I so would. I don't know what I've done with mine. I know I've done stuff like that, but I don't know if I've done one very long. I live like besides my dad, he's probably the only one, which now his body is also becoming broken, so he's not as apt. But he'd be the one that'd sit in the drive with you for 15 hours. Like,
I would love
yeah.
it. Yeah. I love driving. I
Kev-
too, BLF, love driving. I love it.
Kevin's
But
Best Western in Franklin, then that's where you need to go. It's the Best Western.
so
And they're really good at they're like nice. Franklin's a great area, by the way. It's like very I mean, in Nashville, like we called Franklin like old money because it's just like they've been there for 40 years and they just are have a lot of money. Like Franklin just is, but it's really nice there.
yeah, 3 hours is nothing. I'll do a turn and burn to Richmond all the time. It's a 2-hour drive, 3-hour drive, maybe.
Oh, it's a 3-hour drive.
2.5. 3. Well, it
Okay.
used to be, I could used to do it under 2 hours, but traffic has gotten so much worse. When I was at school in VCU, which is in Richmond, occasionally we would drive up to DC, go to a rave. Raves were very popular back in the early 90s when they
Love
were
it.
actually here you had to know someone and they were very underground. So that was the style of the time, and under a bridge or in an abandoned warehouse. For real. They were awesome.
That's amazing.
We would either get on the back of a motorcycle or drive in a car with 3 or 4 people. Yeah, it was fun.
That's so awesome. Yeah.
That's probably where I got my turn and burn tendencies. 11 hours of driving for 3 hours. I've done that.
If it's gonna be a core memory, like let's just do it.
Right?
I mean, who cares?
I recently ran into an old friend from college that we used to go to do these stupid things. And he was telling me he's got like 3 kids now. One of them's in college, and to hear him like talk, he's like, "Hey, do you remember that time?" And I'm like, "You aren't supposed to talk about these things now because you're a grown up." And he's like, "Yeah, that was a crazy party." And I'm like, "Yeah, that was a crazy party." We drove from Richmond to a warehouse outside of Baltimore. So that was more than 3 hours. And we were dancing and partying until the sun came up and drove back in rush hour traffic the next morning. Because we were coming from Baltimore to Richmond and we were leaving as the sun was rising. So
wow.
And then I had to do a show at the what was it called? The Theater 4, where Paul and I worked.
Oh yeah. You had to do a show the next day.
Yeah, I wasn't performing. I was running stage crew.
Oh, okay. That's a little better. So at least you don't have to turned on.
We're all different, different levels of driving. I love driving. I kind of miss it. I don't really drive that much just because I don't have places to go, and living in the world costs money. Costs money to do anything. So in efforts to not spend money, I try not to drive anywhere. But now I get these hankerings to go back on the road. Here's a true story. I've got a canopy over the Mermablandia Lagoon, and it's not far from my bedroom window. Sometimes when it rains, and I hear the rain hitting the canvas top, and I'm instantly taken back to when I was camping on site for any of the number of fairs. Midweek, it's very quiet, not a lot of light. Everyone's got candles or lanterns. And you can hear that gentle, like AMSR on the canvas. And I find it very relaxing.
I agree.
And it's so beautiful. And I miss that.
Spend the night with who that's what she went to sleep to was the rain noises. But it wasn't like the overpowering ones that do the real hard storm ones. You just need like a nice, like serene.
Oh, when I was camped at the Ohio Medieval Fantasy Fair at the Haunter and Hydro, a literal tornado hit the site.
Oh my God.
Literal tornado. And
that was at the Ohio one?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. It was, like I said, not far from Sandusky. It was about an hour away from Sandusky. And I know because we went to Cedar Creek. No, wait. It was in Sandusky, and we went to Cedar Point to the amusement park.
Cedar Point, yes.
We were in Sandusky.
Okay. Okay, yeah. Cedar Point, very popular.
Yeah. Yeah, it sends me right back. I love it. I miss it. So it's been an hour, and it is time for me to actually make dinner. And I have enjoyed spending this time with you guys. It was really nice doing some nostalgia. You guys are asking great questions. And
good time. Always a good time with MAB.
I'm glad you were able to join.
Yes, thanks for letting me hang.
Love it. I don't know what it's like. I know what it is, but I used to know what it stood for.
Look it up right quick. It is Anonymous Sensory Meridian Response. Autonomous. Anonymous.
I was like autonomous.
I was like, that does not sound right. Why doesn't that? Autonomous Sensory Meridian? I would assume.
So it's when you get the little tickles up the back of your head.
Okay. Okay. That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. I love you guys so much. And I want to say thank you so much for being Patreons. I know, again, I say this so often right now, it's almost lost all meaning, but it is hard times right now. And we find these little nuggets of joy where we can. And we kind of support each other in the things in our arts and in everything we do. So I'm very grateful that you guys are here, and I love you all. So thank you
guys.
so
and
much.
Y'all don't forget about the map making contest that ends
Oh, yes, that.
He's super fun. Whatever you want to do.
And I'll incorporate it into the Saints game.
Yes.
If I can.
That'd be awesome.
Yay! All right.
All right,
I'm
guys.
gonna say goodnight, and I think we have an outro. Yep. All right. There.